So I see that one person was trying to force me to adopt nonviolent communication, which sounds like my communication is very bad, but actually it was just a projection of the person onto me that I needed to communicate my feelings with him. If I ever did, I do sometimes communicate my feelings. There's nothing wrong with that, but there's something wrong with people who do that to manipulate other people, or who do that all of the time without taking responsibility for their own emotions and for just dealing with their own emotions, processing emotions in their body without constantly talking about their emotions, without doing anything about their negative emotions, like emotions you shouldn't just push onto other people. But yeah, that person was stalking me, harassing me, forcing me to talk about intimate things with him, even though I had already told him that I didn't want him in my life. I didn't want to talk to him since he could never create some kind of healthy communication with me. He was always degrading me, talking down on me, shouting things onto me, like words like whore, parasite, and other words. He was stalking me a lot and was just trying to gain narcissistic supply or like information from me that he could then use against me. And he was very coercively controlling, like trying to command other people around, shouting commands at them, seeing himself as being very superior to other people, even though he wasn't. Like, he saw himself as very socially apt. He wasn't at all. Like, he was the one who was always misbehaving. You always had to tell him, please, can you be quiet? I need to do some work. Please stay away from me. That's too close. I don't want you following me. I don't want to have you in my space, or like read my documents on my computer or my emails or my private communication and similar things. That person in behavior wasn't not violent. He wasn't not violent in communication. Like, non-violent communication, like the book talks about mentioning your feelings, like I'm feeling angry or whatever, to make the other person aware of your feelings and to stop, I guess, what they're doing that make you angry. Like, it is usually, I think, also used by some people in relationships when they feel that maybe the communication doesn't work or the behavior of another person doesn't work for them. But with regards to that person, it was like more or less a stranger who just wanted to have an intimate connection with me without me having allowed him into my life or to have that connection. He was never able to create true intimacy. He wasn't sharing enough about himself. If he did, a lot of it may have been lies. I didn't have a way to be able to discern if what he was saying was the truth or lies, but he was talking a lot about other people as well, that I didn't like, talking about things that he said had happened that I didn't know if they had happened or not, about people I didn't want to talk about behind their backs. So this person was very, very violent. This person was very aggressive. He was very misogynistic. He was very like, if you were just quiet, not hurting anybody, he would attack you for being antisocial because you were being quiet and not talking to other people or not talking to him all of the time. This is very violent in itself because when you're never allowed to just stay quiet, when you're a quiet person, or to also be at home and be quiet and not be bothered by this person, you can't get any rest, you can't relax. Maybe you had a health issue that you needed to tend to, where you needed to sleep, relax, be quiet, meditate, do whatever was needed for you to get healthy again. And he always made things other people's issue, like other people's responsibility. So his inability to communicate healthily was projected onto you. He just started all of those methods with you. Yeah, like, you didn't consent to it. You didn't say, yes, I want to talk like this with you. Yes, I want to change my communication in a way where I'm not sharing my feelings all of the time to then be shut down by you. You weren't saying that, but he just started doing it. And if you didn't do it, he would shame you for not doing it. He would shame you for being so bad at communicating. and all other kinds of ways. This person was an extreme manipulator, like not a normal person. Sometimes normal people may also try to like manipulate others a little. Like, I don't care if, it's not coming from a bad place, but just from not being able to get what you need in your life. But with this person, the manipulation was so bad, like there was just no second where he wouldn't try to manipulate you. He would try to silence me, to shut me down. Every sentence was immediately stopped by him, by like not allowing me to talk. He was talking all of the time, but not in a healthy manner, not in a manner where the other person was saying, yes, I want to communicate with you. Yes, I want to talk to you. This is a requirement for consensual communication for both people to want to talk to the other person. No woman, I think, wants to be talking to a man who's just constantly verbally abusing her, degrading her, making her feel insignificant and inferior, even when she is not. Like, I'm not talking about natural differences between people, but just about situations where maybe it was also the other way around. Like, that person is not important, but he wanted to be seen as very important in my life. Some people do that because I have a small blog, a tiny little blog, and they feel like they are needing like the attention they can get through my blog. That's just using another person for the little online audience that she has, which sometimes takes a while to be able to realize if somebody's doing that. But usually over time you can see if a person really wanted to become friends with you or date you or have a relationship with you because of who you are, or if they just wanted to do that so they can become like famous on your blog. I mean, not that anybody can become famous on my blog, but like in their mind, that's, everybody would, or a lot of people would get to know about them or read about them, and the attention would simply be on them. A person like who does so is already very mentally unhealthy, because you can just create your own blog, write your own stories, try to see if you get some readers and get attention for that. Like, my blog is not so others can then use me to get attention. My blog is not a narcissistic blog. It was never intended as a narcissistic blog where people can now achieve their narcissistic goals through using me. But this has happened a lot, and I'm very sad that it has. Like, my blog was never intended for that purpose, and it is also sad that I even have to discuss this with people who are trying to use me for such goals, because in the past I was just writing stories, I was just sharing those stories, and whoever wanted to read them could read them, whoever didn't want to read them didn't have to. So it was just a tool of connecting with other people, sharing a few stories, and that was that.